Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that person ended the meeting. Okay, no issues. All right, so let's continue. You're able to see my screen, right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes? All right, great. So I was saying that there's this part regarding communication as well. So you have the concept of communication, the meaning and significance of good communication, business communication, principles and process, means of communication. So this includes written, oral, visual, audiovisual, etc. And then you have the choice and modes of communication, communication networks.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, there is still some background disturbance.
yes, everybody has to go on mute actually, otherwise the background noise will continue. Okay, if you need to speak to me, you can unmute and speak, but otherwise I would request everybody to go on mute, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then you have the communication networks, which includes vertical, circuit, chain, wheel, star, commonly used mediums of digital communication, which includes email, SMS, voicemail, multimedia teleconferencing, mobile phone conversation, video conferencing, etc.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, we
Yes?
can't hear, ma'am. We can't hear your voice, ma'am, properly.
Okay, 1 second. My speaker volume is on maximum. It is on maximum. You should be able to hear me. Could you increase
Ma'am, now I'm here,
your device sound, please?
Ma'am?
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
can you increase your device sound?
I have increased, ma'am. It's full.
Okay. Can everybody else hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Because my system device sound is on maximum volume, so it should work. All right. The next part that we have to do is the listening skills. Okay, so this is a very important topic. So there are different kinds of listening skills, the purpose, steps to effective learning, barriers to effective learning, and ways to overcome the barriers. Then you have also barriers to effective communication and ways to overcome these barriers. The next part that we're going to deal with is business correspondence. So that includes business letters. Then you have positive, negative messages, persuasive messages, basically the different kinds of messages. You have business reports, intra-departmental communication, which includes things like office orders, office circulars, memorandum, office notes, and the MIS system. Okay. You have also the concept of web, internet, and e-correspondence, because that's what we use a lot these days. You have intranet, email etiquettes, then the essential elements of an email. What are the advantages and disadvantages of email writing? And the last part that we're going to work on is the common business terminology aspect of it. So basically, there are various terms that are defined under laws, rules, and regulations, including financial and non-financial terms. We're going to cover all of these aspects in the next 2 months. Okay. So this was a brief overview of what would be expected of you in the CSET exam. Okay. So now I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you, where we will start learning about business communication. But before that, it's a bit of a quick revision on English. Okay, so we start with the essentials of good grammar. Okay, so what are the parts of a speech? So I want to make this session quite interactive. You can either unmute and speak one by one, or feel free to use the chat box. Okay, you have a chat option, so feel free to use the chat box. So what are the different parts of speech? Anyone?
Noun, pronoun, adjective,
Yes,
verb,
please.
verb.
Go ahead. Hello? Yeah, what are the different parts of speech, please?
Noun, pronoun,
Yeah,
adjectives,
yeah,
verbs, adverbs,
correct.
prepositions,
Conjunction,
conjunctions, interjection.
Very good. Great. So these are the different parts of speech, right? So you have the noun, you have the pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. All of us would have come across this, at least in our schools, right? When we did English in school. So let's see what you mean by a noun first. So what does a noun include?
name, place, thing.
Yeah, okay, it could be a name, a place, or a thing. There are different kinds of nouns. Let's look at this example first. Sita lives in Bangalore in a big country called India. Ashoka was a wise king. Okay, you have two examples here. So there are different kinds of nouns if you see here in these two sentences. The first one that you'd come across would be the proper noun. So it's a name of a particular person or a place. In these two sentences, what are the names of particular places or people?
Sita, Ashoka, Bangalore, India.
Correct. So in the first sentence, you have the words Sita, Bangalore, India. In the second sentence, you have the word Ashoka. So that would be known as a proper noun. Okay, for example, all our names would be proper nouns. The cities we live in would be proper nouns. The country we live in would again be a proper noun because it belongs to a particular person or place. The next one, the next kind of noun that we have is a common noun. So what is a common noun? It's a name given in common to every person or thing of the same class or kind. For example, in these two sentences, you have the word country, and you have the word king. Right? Sita's the girl, that's general. The city is Bangalore. So again, that is general. The word country is general. Ashoka is a man, so that is general. And the word king is again general, right? So all of these are known as proper nouns. So we need a couple more examples, please, for proper nouns as well as common nouns. Anyone? And it's all right, okay, if it's not, if your answers are not correct, it's still fine because at least you're learning, you're participating. So I would really encourage that, please. So go ahead, tell me what is a proper noun?
Name of a particular person or place.
Very good. Could you give me a couple of examples, please? Any sentence, any example, or even just words.
Chennai is a proper noun.
Yes, Chennai is a proper noun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas city is a common noun. Labrador is a proper noun. Dog is a common noun.
Very good. Very good. Because Labrador is a dog breed, right?
Breed, yeah,
so that
exactly.
would be yeah. Very good. Okay. Or, if you've named your dog, let's say, for example, Rusty or Brownie, that would be a proper noun again.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And what about common nouns? Any other examples?
Animals.
Yeah, okay. The word animal itself in general. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. But if
Chocolates.
You have
Chocolates.
Chocolates, yeah, in general, that's a common noun.
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
Car,
But
man,
if you look at the
laptop.
name of a particular chocolate brand, for example, like Cadbury or Hershey's, okay, that would be a proper noun. But just generally, chocolates would be common noun. Very good. Did somebody else want to say something?
Car, man, laptop.
Very good. Correct. But if you're going to talk about a particular brand like Maruti or Mercedes or laptop, for example, Dell or HP, right? Then those would be proper nouns. Very good. All right. So you have under common nouns, you have a couple of categories, right? The first category is the collective noun. What do you mean by collective noun? So it's the name of a number or collection of persons and things that are taken together and spoken of as one whole. Okay, so you're talking about a collection. For example, a fleet. What does a fleet mean? A collection of ships or vessels. Like you see a fleet of ships. An army. So it's a collection of soldiers. A crowd is a collection of people. For example, the police dispersed the crowd. The French army was defeated at Waterloo. Army would be the highlighted word in this case. The jury found the prisoner guilty. A herd of cattle is passing. Could you give me any other examples of collective nouns that you might be aware of?
School of fish. Bunch of
fish.
Bunch of pencils.
Okay, a bunch of pencils.
Pod of dolphins.
Okay, a shoal of dolphins. Okay, very good.
Murder of crows.
A colony of gulls.
Very good. A colony of gulls, a murder of crows. Very good.
Flock of birds.
Okay, a flock. Okay.
A cast of actors.
A cast of actors. Very good. Okay, so for different groups of people or things or animals, to collectively classify them, those are known as collective nouns. Then you have something known as abstract nouns. What are abstract nouns? What do you mean by abstract?
Abstract.
Sorry? Abstract is something that is intangible, right? You can feel it, okay, you can feel it, but you can't see it, you can't touch it normally. So basically, abstract nouns are usually the name of a quality, action, or state considered apart from the object to which it belongs. For example,
a concept which cannot be considered. A concept which cannot
be
experienced.
No. It's a concept that you actually experience, but you can't touch it.
Okay.
For example, goodness, right? You're a good person. But the goodness in you cannot be touched. You can feel it, others can feel it, right? If you're a kind person, the kindness can be felt, it can be experienced, but it cannot be touched. Okay, so basically, it signifies concepts which are abstract. You can think about, you can imagine, you cannot feel them, you cannot touch them. Okay, for example, it includes qualities like goodness, kindness, muchness, toughness, hardness. Okay, some qualities could be touched, like hardness, for example. But again, it's not the quality that is touching, right? It's touching the object. The quality of that object is hardness. Brightness, you can perceive it, whether the room is dark, bright, you can see it, perceive it, but you can't touch it again. Honesty, wisdom, bravery. Then it also includes passion, for example, like laughter, theft, movement, judgment, hatred. Then state, the childhood.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it also includes the state of being, for example, childhood, boyhood, youth, slavery, sleep, sickness, death, and poverty. For example, we speak of a great soldier, a strong man, a beautiful flower. But we can also think of these qualities apart from any particular person or thing and speak of bravery, strength, beauty by themselves. Treatment offers examples for abstract nouns. Do you have examples to share?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Your voice is breaking.
Again, is everybody not able to hear me, or is it only you?
Even I can't hear, ma'am. It's breaking, ma'am.
Okay, is
Also,
it
ma'am.
better now?
Often, ma'am.
Okay, because my internet connection is fine. Would you just check your connection as well, please? Is it better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So my question was, would anybody have any other examples for abstract nouns, please?
Justice.
Okay, justice, very good. What else?
Bravery.
Okay, justice, bravery.
Goodwill, ma'am.
What else, sorry?
Goodwill.
Goodwill, okay.
Delay.
A delay. Okay. So basically, these are qualities, actions, or a state of being. Okay.
Cleverness.
Cleverness. Yes, very good. Cleverness. All right. So the next part is a pronoun. So what's a pronoun? What do you mean by a pronoun?
Words which are used in place of
instead
noun.
of noun.
Correct. So these are words which replace nouns exactly. Correct. Okay. So why are they used? What is the function of a pronoun? Why do we use them?
In every sentence, we can't use the person's names. Instead of using person's names, we will use pronouns.
Correct. You can actually use a person's name, right? But we prefer not to because it becomes repetitive. For example, if I say Sita is a good girl, Sita lives in Delhi, Sita lives in India, right? If I keep saying Sita, Sita all the time, it becomes very repetitive, right? To avoid the repetition, we use pronouns. So what are the different kinds of pronouns that you have, for example? So the first is a personal pronoun. So it's used to represent a person or a thing. For example, I had breakfast this morning. Who had breakfast? I had breakfast, right? Or she went to Delhi. In this case, you need to know who she is referring to. You can't just, randomly come up with a sentence like, he speak this morning. You need to know who you're talking about. If he, for example, my brother, okay, he say my brother ate this morning, and then the next sentence you can say he liked it or he did not like it, for example. Right? But when you're using a pronoun, the first sentence or the context needs to have a noun in it. Otherwise, you can't replace. What are you replacing? Right? So these are things to keep in mind. The next one is a relative pronoun. So it helps join sentences while acting like a pronoun. So it functions as a pronoun / conjunction. For example, whom, which, that. Then you have also possessive pronouns, which shows possession, like mine, ours, theirs, hers, its, his. For example, this is their bag. This is theirs. Okay, this is my bag. That bag is mine. So we are talking about a possession. You're replacing the adjective as well as the noun by a possessive pronoun. Is this much clear so far? It's just a quick revision, so it won't take too long.
Yes,
Ma'am, can you explain personal pronoun and relative pronoun?
Yes, personal pronoun would be a pronoun used to represent a person or a thing. For example, I. Okay, my name is Madhuri, right? But I'm not going to say, Madhuri went to school today. Madhuri went to college, right? I'm not going to keep repeating my name. I'm going to say I went to school. I went to college, right? So it's a personal pronoun, refers to I. Or if I'm talking about somebody else, let's imagine that I'm talking about this person called Sita, right? I'll say Sita lives in Delhi. She is very intelligent. She works in this famous company, for example, right? So instead of keeping on saying Sita, Sita, repeating her name multiple times, I'll give you the context first. I'll tell you Sita lives in Delhi, right? And then I'll tell you that she is intelligent. She works in a reputed company. Okay, so that's a personal pronoun. Is this clear?
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Then the next one is a relative pronoun. So a relative pronoun helps you join two sentences. Okay, so usually you'll see a relative pronoun like whom, which, that, etc. So can you think of any examples? With this, you would have come across multiple examples with whom, which, that. Anyone could come up with an example. So you need two sentences which you're joining together actually.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah.
This is the boy who saves my life.
Yes, correct. This is the boy who saved my life, who saved my life. Very good. For example, the cyclist who won the race trained very hard. The cyclist won the race. The cyclist trained very hard. Okay, these are two sentences. The cyclist won the race. The cyclist trained very hard. But now I'm going to join these two sentences using the relative pronoun. The cyclist who won the race trained hard. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The next thing. I bought pants yesterday. I bought pants yesterday. The pants are already stained. Okay, I dropped T on them. So the pants that I bought yesterday are already stained. If I have to join these two. I bought pants yesterday. The pants are already stained. Now if I want to join these two, I'll use the word that. The pants that I bought yesterday are already stained. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of examples and questions as well that you can do to perfect it. And the possessive pronouns show possession. For example, that is my car. Or that car is mine. It belongs to me, right? This bag is hers. Clear? Could I move on? Clear, right? So I'll move on to the next part then. So you have adjectives next. So what is an adjective?
Describing words.
Yes, an adjective is a describing word. Very good. Correct. So what does it describe? An adjective normally describes a noun. Okay, so it's usually a word which is used with a noun in order to describe it. For example, it could describe a person, animal, place, thing. Or it can also tell you the number or the quantity. Okay, let's go through a few examples and see what it is. First one, Sita is a clever girl. So what kind of a girl is Sita? Which is the adjective in this sentence?
Clever.
We came across nouns already, right? So adjective would include clever. Very good. What kind of a girl is she? Clever. Now if I replace the word clever with intelligent, Sita is an intelligent girl. What would be the adjective in the new sentence?
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Very good. So in sentence 1, clever shows what kind of a girl Sita is, and the word clever describes Sita. The second one, I don't like that boy. Okay, imagine I'm pointing to one boy and I'm saying I don't like him. I don't like that boy. Which boy am I talking about?
That boy.
That, correct, exactly. So that boy is demonstrating, right? So it's a demonstrative adjective. So I'm pointing to someone and saying that boy or this boy. I like this boy. I don't like that boy, right? Imagine that I'm pointing to two people. Okay, so this and that would again be an adjective. The next one, he gave me 5 mangoes. How many mangoes? So 5
mangoes.
Correct, exactly. So the word 5 shows you how many mangoes he gave me. Right, again, that would be an adjective. The fourth one, there is little time for preparation. There is little time for preparation. How much time is left?
Little time.
Little, right? So in sentence 4, little shows how much time there is for preparation. So all of these would be adjectives. Okay, would you give me a couple of examples, please, for all the adjectives? You could come up with sentences and let us know. We can discuss it. Feel free, okay?
The scenery is stunning.
Okay, the scenery is stunning. Correct. You're describing the scenery. So which is the adjective?
Stunning.
Stunning. Very good. And what do you mean by scenery in terms of the parts of speech? What would a scenery be?
Noun.
Noun. Correct. Would it be a proper noun or a common noun?
Common noun.
Common noun. Very good. Very good. Any other examples, please? Please take turns, okay? Feel free to speak up. No issues at all.
It is a pretty dress. So pretty is an adjective here.
Very good. Very good. It's a pretty dress. Pretty would be the adjective and the dress would be your noun, a common noun. Good. Any other examples, please? You could give me examples. So we already did this. What kind of a scenery is it? Stunning. What kind of a dress is it? Pretty. Could we do this one? For example, I would like that boy. I like this boy. Give me any other examples where you're pointing to some object or person. Okay, for example, I don't like that car. Okay, I went to that city. I visited that monument. Right, where you're pointing to a monument.
I like chocolates.
I like chocolate.
I like this chocolate.
Exactly. I like chocolates is a general statement that you like something, but if you're particularly pointing to a chocolate, imagine, okay, we have to imagine that you're pointing to a chocolate and you're saying, I like this chocolate. I don't like that chocolate. Very good. Okay,
Ma'am, is cunning an adjective? Can you say cunning as an adjective?
Yeah, he is a
Okay.
cunning boy, for example.
Okay, so there, cunning is an adjective.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so but cunning would be like this, right? What kind of a person is he or she? Cunning. But if I'm pointing out to a person and saying that boy is cunning, again, that is an adjective as well. That plus cunning. Okay, both. Then the next one, he gave me 5 mangoes. How many mangoes? Could you give me any other examples of this? You have to only come up with a quantity.
I bought 500 grams of rice.
Right,
Something
500 grams. Correct. So that again is a quantity. Okay.
I bought 1 liter of water.
Yeah, 1 liter. Very good. Again, a quantity. I bought 10 apples. He gave me 10 oranges. Right? So all of these are quantities again. And then there is little time for preparation. How much time?
Little.
Little, right? So for example, there is a lot of time for preparation. That would be the opposite. Okay, so the next part that we'll come to is a verb. So you would have come across the word verb. What does a verb do? What is the function of a verb?
Describe
Action
action
words.
words.
Yes, so basically a verb is an action verb, action word, sorry. So it talks about any action that a person or a thing is doing, or it could also be just a state of being. For example, I am Indian, right? Am is a state of being. I'm not doing any action, right? She is German. He is American. They are Australian. They're not doing any action. They just are, right? So in some cases, it could also be state of being, or it could also be action that they're doing. For example, he is eating. She is saying. Okay. So the action or the state of being. So the word comes from the Latin word called verbum, which means a word. And it's one of the most important words in a sentence. So a verb may tell us the following things. What a person or thing does. For example, Hari laughs. The clock strikes. What is done to a person or thing? Hari is scolded. The window is broken. Okay, so that means the first thing means whether person or thing does the action themselves. And the second thing is where the action is done to that person or thing. The third one is what a person or thing is. Like the man is dead, the glass is brittle. I feel sorry. I am Indian. Okay? For example, please 3 classifications. What a person or thing does. Hari laughs, the clock strikes. Give me any other examples. It could be in any tense. But just use a verb in it.
He runs so fast.
Okay, he runs very fast actually. He runs very fast. Okay, he runs very fast. Then the second one, the action that is done to a person or a thing. For example, Hari is scolded, the window is broken. Any other examples?
Madhuri ma'am is teaching us.
Yes, Madhuri ma'am is teaching us. Okay. But that would be the first one, right? Because Madhuri ma'am is doing the action. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Think of a thing for the second one.
He was awarded.
He was awarded. Okay, very good. Because the award came to him. Right? The action was done to
Ma'am,
him. He was
I have a doubt.
Yes.
In the second one, it says Hari is scolded.
Yeah, by somebody.
But when it says is, it's generally present tense, right? When it's
Yeah.
scolded, isn't it generally a past?
Hari is scolded by
Passive.
was. Hari was scolded would be better actually. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then any other examples, please? For the second one, the first one is very easy, right? I'm studying, I'm teaching, I'm singing, I sing, I eat, I dance.
I wrote a poetry.
I wrote poetry. I wrote poetry, or I wrote a poem. Okay, I wrote poetry. That would be the first one because you are doing the action. Now think of an action that is done to you. Or do a thing. For example, the car was damaged by a couple of people, right? The car was damaged by some kids. Yeah, sorry, somebody wanted to say something.
Hari threw a ball at me.
Okay, so Hari threw the ball, but it was at you, okay?
He met with an accident.
He met with an accident. Okay, very good. He met with an accident. Good. Then the next one, a person or a thing as is. The cat is dead, glass is brittle, I feel sorry. Any other states of being you can think of?
She is sad.
Okay, she is sad. Correct. She just is. Okay, she is sad. Then?
He is happy.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you very well. Could you repeat?
He is happy. He is happy.
He is dead. Okay. He is dead. Fine. All right. So again, these are states of being. The next one, the next part of speech is an adverb. What's an adverb? What does an adverb do?
Modifies the verb.
Okay. A modifier, yeah, correct. So like an adjective describes a noun, an adverb sort of describes a verb, right? It modifies the verb, but it's not limited only to a verb. Okay, it can also modify adjectives or another adverb, a phrase, a clause, or a sentence. So an adverb is multifunctional. It modifies a lot of parts of speech. And usually, to identify an adverb is to look for the word in a sentence which ends with an ly. But this rule is not always applicable, okay, but it's a great place to start at. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. So here are some examples of adverbs modifying verbs. He runs quickly. She walks slowly. He's happily chattering over there in the corner. So in these three sentences, can you please identify pronouns? You identify the verbs and adverbs. Somebody raised a hand. Somebody have a question? Somebody have a question? We have to argue if you want to talk. You'll have to unmute. Or you can type here also in the chat box somewhere. Okay. Anyway, he runs quickly. She walks slowly. He is happily chattering over there in the corner. So which is the pronoun, which is the verb, and which is the adverb in this sentence? In these sentences, sorry. He, she, he would be the pronoun. Pronoun. Yes, very good. Then runs, walks, chattering would be?
Verbs.
Verbs. Correct. And then quickly, slowly, happily would be?
Adverbs.
Adverbs, exactly. So then the next part is adverbs can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Basically, they provide more information about that other descriptive word. For example, he runs very quickly. In this sentence, the adverb very is describing the adverb quickly. How is he running? Quickly. Okay. And very quickly just tells you how much quicker he can be. Okay. In this sentence, the adverb very is describing the adverb quickly. Very quickly can be used as an adverb phrase. Okay, the next part is an incredibly pretty girl sat down next to me. In this sentence, the adverb incredibly is describing the adjective pretty. Right? Pretty is an adjective, a pretty girl. An incredibly pretty girl. So you're basically using the adverb to modify the adjective. Now let's move on to preposition. So what is a preposition? What's a preposition? What is a preposition? So it's basically a word that is placed before a noun or a pronoun to show in what relation the person or thing denoted by it stands in regard to something else, right? So usually you have prepositions of place or time. It helps you localize the object. It helps you figure out the location of the thing in terms of place or time. So let's look at a couple of examples here. There is a cow in the field. He is fond of tea. The cat jumped off the chair. Okay, look at these sentences again, please. There is a cow in the field. He is fond of tea. The cat jumped off the chair. Let's look at the first sentence. There is a cow in the field. In the first sentence, the word in, okay, the word in here, in, shows the relation between two things. That is the cow and the field. Where is the cow?
In the field.
It's in the field. Very good. So it tells you where the cow is, right? It gives you the position of the cow. Next one. He is fond of tea. He is fond of tea. In the second sentence, the word of, okay, the word here of, shows the relation between the attribute expressed by the adjective fond and tea. What is he fond of? He's fond of tea. So this is a preposition again. Then the third one, the cat jumped off the chair. The cat jumped off the chair.
Off.
So the word is off, correct. The preposition here is off. In sentence 3, the word off shows a relation between the action expressed by the verb jumped and the chair. So in these three sentences, you have the words like in, off, and off with a double F. They're used as prepositions. Okay. And here, it will be noticed that in sentence 1, the preposition joins a noun to another noun. In sentence 2, the preposition joins a noun to an adjective, and in sentence 3, the preposition joins a noun to a verb. Let's look at the three sentences again. There is a cow in the field. So cow and field are both nouns, right? So noun, noun. Then you have fond of tea. So you have adjective, noun. And the last one is a cat jumped off the chair. So that jumped is a verb and chair is a noun. So you have verb, noun. Okay, so this is what it means. The next part is a conjunction. Let's do a let's figure out what a conjunction is. What is a conjunction?
Joining words.
Yeah, very good. So basically,
Conjunction with.
Sorry.
Conjunction which joins two sentences.
Very good. So they are joining words or joining sentences together, right? Words which help you join words together or sentences together. The most commonly used conjunctions are and but. Okay, let's read the following sentences. God made the country and man made the town. God made the country and man made the town. Our hoard is little, but our hearts are great. She must weep or she will die. Two and two make four. Okay? Just read the sentences again, please. God made the country and man made the town. Our hoard is little, but our hearts are great. She must weep or she will die. Two and two make four. Okay? In 1, 2, 3, the conjunctions join together two sentences. But in the fourth sentence, the conjunction joins together two words only. Can you figure out the sentences here in the first example? God made the country and man made the town. And, right? The conjunction is and, which is joining these two sentences together. God made the country and man made the town together. In the second one, our hoard is little, but our hearts are great. But is the conjunction joining these two sentences together. Next, she must weep or she will die. Or joins these two sentences together. But in the fourth one, 2 and 2 make 4. Are there two sentences or it's just joining two words? It's and, correct? But 2 and 2 are words, right? They are not sentences. Right? So conjunctions can join sentences together or also words together. You have also some other conjunctions like correlative conjunctions. They're used in pairs sometimes, like either or. Either take it or leave it. Okay, either take it or leave it. Then you have also neither nor. So it is neither useful nor ornamental. Then you have both and. We both love and honor him. So you love him and you honor him as well. So we both love him, love and honor him. Then whether or. I do not care whether you go or stay. Not only be foolish, but also obstinate. You have some other conjunctions known as the compound conjunctions. There are a lot of compound expressions, like in order that. The notice was published in order that all might know the facts. So that everybody gets to know about the facts. In order that. Then you have also on condition that. I will forgive you on condition that you do not repeat the offense. Another one would be even if. Such an act would not be kind even if it were just. So that he saved some bread so that he should not go hungry on the morrow. Provided that. You can borrow the book provided that you turn it in soon. As though he is slightly lame, as well as Rama, as well as Govind was present there. As soon as he took off his coat, as soon as he entered the house. And the last one, as if he was wearing. Okay, so we'll stop with conjunctions for today. Deepti raised her hand. Deepti, do you have any questions?
No, I'm sorry, it was by mistake.
Yeah, all right. So what we'll do is we'll stop with conjunctions for today. We'll work on interjection tomorrow, and we'll do a quick recap of all of these. Okay, nouns, pronouns, adjective, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, and conjunctions. Tomorrow we'll do interjection and a quick revision of everything. So could I request all of you please to prepare some examples with all of these aspects of the parts of speech? Yeah. So English is best learned. Any language is actually best learned when you practice, right? So I would really recommend you and request you also to, come up with some examples. You can do your research, come up with different examples. So the more we discuss, the more aware we are. Okay? All right. Does anybody have any doubts or questions, please? Any doubts or questions? Yeah? No? Okay. So please feel free to, let me know if you have any doubts or questions later as well on the Telegram group. If not, if you revise this, if you have any doubts or questions that you can think of today, you could let me know tomorrow. Okay? All right. So I hope you had a great session, and we'll.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I have doubt, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Because also conjunction.
Sorry, can't hear you very well.
Conjunction now.
I didn't hear your question. You were on mute. Hello, Vijaya.
Hello.
Yeah.
Because also conjunction now, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, because yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll meet. I think we don't have a session tomorrow. I think we have a session on Wednesday next, every alternate day. So we'll meet on Wednesday. Okay. In the meanwhile, I'd request you all to come up with some examples. All right. I hope you had a good session.
Okay, ma'am.
And please do participate in class. Okay. The more you participate, the better it is. It'll become more interactive. It'll be fun.
Okay,
All
ma'am.
right. Take care. Have a good day then. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome. Bye-bye.